Well, good morning. I want to welcome everyone to Commissioners Court. Before we get started this morning, we have Brother Ivory Givens with us. If you would, please, sir. He's going to lead us in the invocation. And Commissioner McCam, the pledges.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for blessing each of us to be here in Commissioner's Court this morning. I just want to praise you for your loving kindness and tender mercies and ask you to look upon this court on the decisions made today. Guide and direct the commissioners, the county judge. Continue to protect and keep our sheriff and the sheriff's department, all of our first responders, and your people everywhere safe. In Jesus' mighty name, I pray and ask these blessings upon the court. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Mr. Givens, thank you, sir. It's good to see you up and around.
Thank you.
We appreciate you very much. All right, well, the time is 9:01. We do have a quorum, so we will call this meeting to order. Are there any citizens' comments?
No, sir.
Item 1, consider and take action on minutes from previously held meeting of Commissioners Court on September 20th, 2022. Are there any additions, deletions, or comments to the minutes?
Hearing none, Judge, I move we approve the Commissioners Court minutes regular session of September 20th, 2022 as presented.
I'll second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley and second by Commissioner Spivey to approve the minutes of Commissioners Court held on September 20th, 2022 as presented. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes unanimously. Item number 2 is consider and take action on a resolution authorizing county grant to Meals on Wheels Ministry Incorporated for program year 2023. This is a program that is administered through the East Texas Council of Governments. It is how we have the home delivered meals in Henderson County. The actual organization that has the contract with ETCOG is the Meals on Wheels Ministry Incorporated. I believe they've had it in this, 2 years now, I believe. And this grant program here has actually fully been in place now about 15 years. It greatly reduced the actual funding that the county had to provide when the state re-upped their portion of it. I believe it's $5,500 annually, I think, is the county's portion to go along with this grant. As I said, we've been doing it a number of years. Be happy to answer any questions concerning it.
Do we know how many people take advantage of this, or do you have any of those numbers?
I do not have any of the up-to-date numbers. We can get those. They keep them. The COG put out a information bulletin about 6 weeks ago that gave a rundown of each and every county and the services that they receive. I know it's a good portion. We are the third largest county in the 14 county region, and our numbers show higher proportional to our population than you would think. It's always run that way. Anything further? This award will require the county judge's signature, so if there's no further discussion, entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion with the judge's authorization to sign.
I'll second that motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Richardson, second by Commissioner McCam, to approve the resolution authorizing county grant to Meals on Wheels Ministry Incorporated for the program year 2023 with the county judge's authorization to sign. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes unanimously. Item 3 is consider and take action on a resolution to participate in the interlocal purchasing system, otherwise known as TIPS.
Good morning, Court. This is a organization that Henderson County can participate in. It is a purchasing co-op similar to Buy Board, Texas Smart Buy, Houston Galveston Purchasing Co-op, Smith County's Purchasing Co-op. It's just where instead of us having to go out for bid for particular items, if this organization has already bid these items and awarded them, then we can utilize their existing awards as opposed to us having to go through that process again.
Questions? Now, this is, as you said, this is a cooperative purchasing,
Yes, sir.
and this one happens to originate on the education side.
Yes, like Buy Board, it originated in ISDs, independent school districts, and then it's grown into universities, cities, state organizations, counties. So they have found that even though the basis of each of those entities is a little different, the requirements for public purchasing are very similar, and the expenses that go along with some of those larger purchases are the same. So it benefits everybody to elect to do these.
Yep. Questions, Court?
I'll make the motion to approve the interlocal agreement, the resolution to participate in the interlocal purchasing system, TIPS.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner McCammon, and seconded by Commissioner Spivey to approve the resolution to participate in the interlocal purchasing system, otherwise known as TIPS. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes unanimously. Item number 4 is related. It's consider and take action on the interlocal agreement between Region 8 Education Service Center and Henderson County.
This is the interlocal agreement with the Region 8, which is the originating entity for the interlocal purchasing services, or TIPS. So this would just be the official agreement between us and the TIPS organization.
Questions?
I'll make the motion to move into the interlocal agreement with Region 8 Education Center for the judge's signature.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner McCamm, seconded by Commissioner Richardson to approve the interlocal agreement between Henderson County and the Region 8 Education Service Center with county judge's authorization to sign. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes unanimously. And third and final is consider and take action on a contract with McKinstry using TIPS Cooperative Purchasing Agreement number 170103 to perform an investment-grade audit of utility use at the Henderson County Justice Center.
McKinstry was one of the entities that applied for or responded to TIPS request for proposals for investment grade audits. They were awarded, and we have been speaking with them off and on for the last several months about energy audits and some of the different things that they could do for us in conserving energy and reducing costs for different types of utility costs that we incur. And so they have submitted a proposal to look at some of the different expenses over at the Justice Center. And this is the proposal that they've submitted And so we just need to get authorization to enter into this agreement with them, with the judge's authorization to sign.
Court, you will remember the discussions that we've had recently concerning the utility usage, water, electricity. McKinstry is now at that step to take that deep dive into doing the real investigative work, taking it to the next level, trying to determine how our energy usage can become more efficient. We all know that the water use at that facility is extremely above average. And without taking these steps to do that versus also along with upgrading the HVAC system there, all of those high utility use instruments will be reviewed in this. This is a contract for $47,500, and I believe that by taking this step, we are, it's a step that cannot be sidestepped because we go this route or we hire an engineer out and about, same thing. We're going to have to take this step to determine truly what the problems are at the facility, if there are any. So, thoughts? Sheriff, anything you want to? Your department has worked quite extensively with McKinstry in the run-up to this.
Yes, sir. Good morning, court, and thank you. I also am very curious of what's going on with our utility cost. The court and the judge has already assisted us with, the light portion of it, but the water is I believe something's going on there, and this is really one of the only organizations we've been able to locate that might be able to help us get down to the bottom of it, and I think there's some large savings that we could end up and realize at the end of the day if they help us find out what's going on.
Ms. Lee, you've been paying the bills for all of these years. You're as aware of it as we are. Anything you wish to add in?
No, it's clear there's something wrong with the water system.
Okay.
No longer.
Court, questions?
It's been going on for several years. It's always been the talk of how high the water bills are. And when you hear the price, it scares you, when water costs more than electricity. So
Yeah.
we think there's the issue.
That's a good point. We
The
pay
water
more
bill's
for
higher than
water.
electricity bill, which it's got sewer included too. So, but it's still. I don't think anybody's water bills run more than electricity in the city of Athens.
Yeah.
I think it gives us the opportunity to find out what the problem is whenever you look at the numbers from other jails around the area. There's got to be something going on over there. And we need to find out what it is. And it could be substantial savings.
And that's one thing that was very apparent through what we have seen was just that, the substantialness. I think 36%. I believe 36% easy is what was on in the discussions, and there's even more from there. And when you're spending $200,000 a year for water, pretty easy to do the math. That's $60,000. That's 1 year. If this works out, 1 year pays for it. So, if there's no further comments, entertain a motion.
So move with the judge's authorization.
I'll second the motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley and second by Commissioner Richardson to approve the contract with McKinstry using the TIPS Cooperative Purchasing Agreement number 170103 to perform the investment grade audit of utility usage at the Justice Center with county judge's authorization to sign. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes unanimously. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Item number 6 is consider and take action on an agreement with the Humane Society of Cedar Creek Lake for animal shelter services. Annette, why don't you come on forward, Ms. Ainsworth?
Thank you.
Court, you will remember our discussions over the last several months concerning the humane societies and the shelter services that are rendered from both facilities. If you remember back last year, we had a request for some additional funding that the court approved through the end of the fiscal year 2021. There was a second step that we didn't get to, which is to continue that funding through 2022. And that's what we're here today to discuss, is that additional funding portion of it for the Cedar Creek Lake facility. So, Ms. Ainsworth?
So, yeah, with that, we were here August the 18th for several things, and one of those issues that came up was the funding from what we were already receiving. And as the judge mentioned, we had been receiving, and this is at the Humane Society of Cedar Creek Lake, and I'll refer it to as HSCCL, for years had been receiving $20,000 a year. And then when we got into a situation, as we all know, with the pandemic, then we came back and said that we would like to have additional emergency funding, was our request. With that was additional $1,500 a month, and that was approved in November, December. I do apologize that we did not come back and, because we were thinking, and again, under the impression that that could carry us through 2022, realizing that later this year that all those funds were depleted that was allocated. So I got the call to say that we had not had the funds to pay the bills. So obviously, I went back and started doing some research and went, oh no. So I appreciate the judge giving us an opportunity to come back and try to work that out. So we did send a formal request to restore the funding, which again was the original $20,000, and then additional funding was $18,000. That comes up to $3,166 a month. So we do want to see if we can get that approved and move forward. I do want to make a comment about the reason we were here on August the 18th was to talk about the additional funding for the tool shelter, and we haven't had a chance, I guess, to get a reply back from the Commissioners Court from that meeting on that subject. And if I have a couple of moments, I'd like to kind of to readdress that we were looking at trying again to make sure that we could use both shelters for Henderson County. And as it stands, that the majority of the animals were going initially to the Athens shelter. And over the last couple years, we've been trying to split those animals up appropriately so that we could take care of the animals and not bring them all into one shelter. So I'd just like to kind of comment that in 2021, there was a total of 1,300 animals that were brought to both of the shelters, and this year we're looking at a little bit more than that. When we signed up for to take over the Athens shelter, which was in March of 2020, I don't think any of us realized that obviously we were getting ready to go into the pandemic and the aftermath that we're all up against, which is the increased labor cost, medical costs, and all the things. So these were the things that we discussed, of course, at our last meeting, that we need to continue to keep both shelters financially sound so that we can maintain what we've been doing all along, which is able to provide for this county shelters for both facilities. And that's what I'm asking. Again, not only do we go back and I'm asking to restore the original funding, but we had asked for $40,000, and we'd also asked for $80,000 for the Athens shelter. Well, the good news right now on the Athens shelters, we are starting to receive some more donations, which is helping us, and we're going to do everything we can that we continue to fundraise and do the things we need to do to take care of some of these expenses. But it gets to a point where, again, we didn't know when we signed back, in March of 2020, what we were up against. And that's the challenges that we have. And we asked the court to allow both of those shelters to maintain. And in order to do that, we're going to have additional funding. So today, I'm just asking for the additional $40,000. And we're going to wait and see how we work with the Athens shelter. And I do want to, while I have the floor, talk about Jennifer. And to update you guys, we had another surprise inspection from the state just last week. So that just happened. And they were actually, this was one of the first audits that, they showed up again. But it was one of the first audits that they said we were doing very well. We had the isolation room that was paid for donations that we're very proud of. That was up and operating, and so that was one of their issues, that you didn't have a place for sick animals. So that was a good thing for us. So Jennifer and her team, for the first time, got a shining star, the check box, and so, I thank her and her team, because that was a first. So we're proud, again, of the things that we're doing on donation money in Athens because of where we were and where we are when it comes to saving the animals. So we're getting that support from the community, and we're going to continue that note. So I'm going to ask again, so we don't put all those animals over in one shelter, because when you do that, you're going to start having a high EU rate. That's the bottom line. And I'm just looking for an additional $40,000 to help us to keep the tool shelter at this time stable. So that's my request today, is to let's reinstate the funds, and I apologize that was a mix-up, but we want to have a vote on that, please, for the $31.67 a month. And then would you please consider taking the vote on the additional $40,000 to help us in the tool shelter? And then we'll see how 2023 goes, and hopefully we won't have to come back and ask for any more money, because I'm working on some more grants and different things that we can do to help our community. So that's my request today.
Court, questions, comments? How many times has the tool shelter had surprise inspections?
Well, they have not, because they're not a quarantine area, and that's the reason I think we get these surprise inspections.
Okay.
Over state inspections, yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. Court? Any comment? If not,
Today, we're here just to do the deal for the Henderson, for the Athens shelter, correct?
that is correct. The contract here carries us through the end of 2023
For the Athens, yes.
for the
For the tool shelter as well. Right.
for the tool shelter.
Yes, that's the first item, I guess, that's on the agenda, and
Yes.
for the,
Our county attorney, I saw him come in, I thought. Mr. Davis,
Yes,
you've had an opportunity to review this document.
I did. Made some changes. Fairly simple, fairly simple.
Okay. All right. So, and here today, this carries us through 2023 with the additional funding that we have, that they're requesting for 22, because in the budget, we've already taken care of it for the 2023 year.
Okay.
This gets us covered to the end of 23 contractually, and it also covers us through the remainder of 22 plus the previous 3 months at the $31.66 per month.
I move to replace the payments to the Humane Society of Cedar Creek Lake to the 3166.67 for the remainder of 2022 and 2023
I'll second.
with the judge's signature.
I'll second.
Can I get approval of the contract in there as well?
Yeah, approval of the contract.
Perfect.
I move to approve the contract.
Can you second that motion, Commissioner? Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Spivey to approve the agreement with the Humane Society of Cedar Creek Lake for animal shelter services in a term ending December 31st, 2023, with the county judge's authorization to sign. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Item passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Thank y'all for y'all's hard work, what y'all have done. We appreciate your efforts.
So can I ask for another opportunity for the additional funds that we talked about,
We
the
can-
40,000?
We can schedule that discussion
Okay,
after court.
okay,
Alrighty?
okay. All right, thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
All right.
And the reason I say that, the only item, the agenda specifically
Okay.
says, speaking about the contract.
Okay, and we'll get that on the schedule. Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 7 is consider and take action on payment to UT Health Athens per the American Rescue Plan Act funds, known as ARPA, for the Henderson County COVID-19 Public Health Expenditure Agreement Memorandum of Understanding. Ms. Brown.
Yes, good morning. I bring this before y'all today just as a formality for the American Rescue Plan funding. We brought the memorandum of understanding last week. That has now been signed, and I'm just requesting that we approve payment for the hospital in the 1.4 million.
Did you say that again?
All of it or the amount?
The amount.
1.4 million.
Okay. Court, comments?
This is something that we approved to do with ARPA funding, probably, I'm gonna say close to a year ago now. Maybe a little over, so.
Yes, sir, that's
It's just
correct.
taking time. I know everybody thinks it's easy to give away money, but we found out that it is not easy to give away federal funds that we were sent to do these types of projects with. So it's taken better than a year for us to be able to pay the hospital the amount of funds that we agreed to pay to mainly help them keep staff back during the pandemic, whenever larger hospitals were paying way more money and giving these sign-on bonuses and everything else. And it was opportunity for us to keep the staffing level at Athens adequate. And I'm glad to see that we've moved to this point where after a little over a year, we're able to pay it.
Yes,
And
sir.
it is coming from the ARPA money
Yes.
that we received from the federal government for the recovery program. So,
Comments?
I'm just glad we can do it. Here locally to keep our good doctors and nurses and EMTs and paramedics and whatever else this is gonna, take care of, because they were the ones that were on the front lines. It just wasn't the police and the sheriff and all them on the front lines. It was these people right here. So it's great that we have some money given to us that we can give away.
Well, we've said it 2 or 3 times, our partnership with UT Health and Ardent has been very beneficial. They were strong enough of a organization to be able to withstand the increased costs, to stay competitive, and through the actions or the funding given to us by the American Rescue Plan, getting that back to them was very important for us. We were hoping just to do it, one agreement and be done, but as we learned, as Commissioner stated, meeting all of the thresholds so that there are no disallowed costs slows things down. But I want to tell UT Health, thank you very much. Mr. Knight, appreciate y'all, your organization.
Thank you.
So
Do you need to sign anything?
I don't believe so. This is just
No.
authorization of payment.
We signed the MOU last week, and this is just payment. For ARPA, we will bring them forward this way instead of just through the bills as normal.
Yeah. Part of the ARPA rules are that it be very clear, very transparent on where everything goes. So every ARPA transaction will be run through in this fashion, different from our regular bill process.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Tootley and second by Commissioner Spivey. to approve the payment to UT Health Athens per the American Rescue Plan Act funds for Henderson County COVID-19 Public Health Expenditure Management Memorandum of Understanding. All those in favor? Item passes unanimously. Item number 8 is consider and take action to accept the grant award for the fiscal year 2022 Bulletproof Vest Partnership Funding. Ms. Brown.
Yes, I received a notification that we have been awarded $22,695 for fiscal year 2022 to help cover our employees that are required to wear a vest. Our application was $45,390. This is a 50% reimbursement, so we were awarded half of what we applied for.
Questions, Court?
So, it's a matching?
Yes, it's 50%, and it will run through August of 2024. So this is always a multi-year funding.
Let's say these vests, they have expiration date of 5 years, so they have to be renewed every 5 years, I think it is.
Yes.
So,
How many vests are we, on average, able to do through these? Do we?
Well, currently, we are doing a smaller number of vests, but some of our larger orders are 20 to 30 officers at a time, and vests are up to $880 for just our concealed, and we have outer carriers, which is they're almost $1,000 a piece now, so the vests continue to go up each year as well.
Any other comments? Entertain the motion.
I'd like to make the motion to accept the grant award for the 2022 Bulletproof Vest Partnership Funding.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Spivey and second by Commissioner Richardson to accept the grant award for the fiscal year 2022 Bulletproof Vest Partnership Funding. Any further comments? All those in favor of the motion? Item passes.
Thank you.
Now, item number 9 was to consider and take action on an interlocal agreement between Henderson County and Crossroads ISD, but I believe Commissioner,
We are going to pass on it. They did some bids on some outside work, and somebody came in cheaper with materials than what they could buy from our prices.
Okay.
So they're going to go with someone else.
all right. Well, we'll move on then to item 10, which is receive financial reports, and there are none. And we have item 11, which is consider and take action on payroll distributions and accounts cash sheets. We have Ms. Harris with us. Looks like we got several today.
We do. I have biweekly 18 and biweekly 19 payroll totals.
Okay. Questions or comments concerning the payroll disbursements?
Can we pass both of them?
Yes, sir.
With one motion.
Yes, sir. Any other comments? Entertain the motion.
I'll make the motion to approve the payroll disbursement total biweekly number 18 and number 19.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Richardson to approve the payroll disbursement totals for biweekly 18 and 19 as presented. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes unanimously.
And I also have the account and cash sheets for May and June.
Questions, comments, Court? We can do this one in the same fashion.
I'll make a motion to approve the May and June cash count sheets.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Richardson, second by Commissioner Tooley to approve the May and June account cash sheets as presented. Any further comments? All those in favor of the motion? Item passes unanimously. Thank you. All right, item 12 is consider and take action on submitted contracts, and we have none. Item 13 is consider and take action on request for right-of-way permits. Commissioner McCann.
I have one for Leakville Water Supply Company. It's a road bore for new service on County Road 3615.
Questions for the commissioner? Entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion that we approve the notice of proposed utility line activity for Leakville Water Supply Company on County Road 3615
I'll second it motion.
With your authorization.
with Commissioner's authorization to sign.
Motion made by Commissioner McCam, second by Commissioner Spivey, to approve the right-of-way agreement with Leakville Water Supply Corporation for a road bore for new service under County Road 3615 with the Commissioner's authorization to sign. All those in favor? Item passes unanimously. All right. Item 14 is consider and take action on submitted budget amendments. We have none. Now, item 15 is consider and take action on payment of bills. Ms. Carpenter.
Yes, sir, we have fiscal year 2022 in the amount of $351,902.16.
Commissioner Spivey, questions?
I have no questions, Judge.
Commissioner Tooley.
I have none.
Commissioner McCam.
I had done.
Commissioner Richardson.
I had one, it's a bill here to the city of Athens for $1,000. It just says damages. You know what that was for damages?
Yes, sir, we had a vehicle run into the courthouse, and that was for the planter, a portion of with the planter and some other things.
Okay.
It was,
So it'll be covered by insurance probably.
yes, it was a part of the insurance settlement of which we received, and the city of Athens owns the planters around the courthouse, and that was to cover their expenses or the value of the pot. Any other comments? Entertain a motion.
I'd like a motion to approve the fiscal year 2022 bills in the amount of $351,902.16 as presented.
I'll second his motion.
Motion made by Commissioner Richardson, second by Commissioner Spivey, to approve the fiscal year 22 budget, bills in the amount of $351,902.16. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes unanimously. Item 16 is consider and take action on submitted plats.
We have one plat, missing two and not being paid.
Commissioner?
Yes, Judge, this is this is in Cherokee Shores subdivision, and it's just your normal taking two lots and combining it into one.
Questions for the commissioner? Entertain a motion.
Hearing none, I move we approve the final replat of the Cherokee Shores Section E, Lot 49, or 496 and 497, creating Lot 496R for filing purposes only.
I'll second.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley and second by Commissioner Spivey to approve the final replat in Cherokee Shores Section E, creating a Lot 496R for filing purposes only. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes unanimously. Item 17 is open and consider bids, and we have none. Now, I believe we're missing one set of documents. The payroll. We had accounts cash sheets come through.
I signed two things.
We don't sign
We don't sign payroll. Yeah. So, since I blacked out a minute, item 18, consider and take action to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Tooley, second by Commissioner McCam to adjourn at 9:39. All those in favor of the motion? Item passes unanimously. Thank you very much for being